Coming to you live from the corner of our bedrooms, it's time for the glitz. It's time for the glamour. It's time for the Passy.
All right, woo, yeah, woo, well, we love the Passy. Yeah.
My name is Matthew Pizana, and I am co-host of the unbelievably popular podcast Pilot Pass. Alongside me for the ride is our other co-host, Pullen.
Who is the more popular host of the mildly popular podcast.
That is an accurate description. Yes. Will you do me a favor and please tell the listening audience how we're dressed for this evening and do it in great detail?
Well, I think the best way to put it is this is not so formal that it's a white tie affair.
Mm-hmm.
But even this is somewhere up. I would put it at a black tie level. We're not here in white ties and tails. You, of course, as the people at home can see and our Patreons can see, our patrons see, are dressed in a lovely, stunning, designed by Louis Vuitton tuxedo t-shirt.
Yes.
And I think that's just fascinating. And I, of course, am wearing my, well, it's not even going to be released yet, but an upcoming, what do they call it? I guess something they're trying out for the 2022 Michael Kors series.
Oh, fancy.
Of tuxedo onesies. So, yes, very excited for it tonight. We're pinky in the air all the way.
So this is the competitor to the Kanye West version, I'm sure. Yes.
Yeah, the $80 white T-shirt. Yes.
$80. Shoot, it's like $300. I don't know what you're talking about. T-shirts are expensive. It's what we're saying, but our T-shirts are not expensive because we don't have any yet. That's coming next year. This year,
that's right.
What we wanted to do is finish out the season and take a look back. Our Passies are our award show for all the great and wonderful and not so wonderful things that we saw and talked about this year. Del, how excited are you for this episode?
I am on a scale of 7 to 10. I'm an 8.
Okay. That is accurate.
I've got other things to do after this. I'm a little more excited about. I've got some His Dark material to watch, but I'm still excited to be doing this, and I don't want to be doing dishes later. So it's
that's fair. That makes sense. I did take a pause from West Wing to do this, so I'm itching to get back to that. But
I understand.
So
people at home, be grateful for what we sacrifice for you.
We love you, our audience of aplenty. Del, where should we start on this great and wonderful look back on TV pilots that we've talked about this year?
I think we are going to, and for the people at home that don't know, let's talk about Pilot Pass, where we, Matt and I, review pilots or first episodes of TV shows. Sometimes that is an actual pilot where that was the only episode shot and it was used to be able to be picked up by a network. Sometimes the entire series was already purchased, but this is the first episode. Either way, it's the first episode that is generally shown to an audience that encourages them to continue watching the show. So that's kind of what we mean by pilot. That way there's no people arguing, what's a backdoor pilot? It's a regular pilot. Hey, that wasn't a real pilot because they bought the whole show at once. Shut up. Especially
we don't want to hear
Doug. I'm tired of you, Doug. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down the list of different award categories. Some of them we already have winners for. This year was very simple. We took a poll of some of the smartest, most capable people of television over the last 80 years, both Matt and I.
Yes.
And if we agreed, that basically won the award. If it didn't, we're going to talk about it for a few minutes and then decide who wins the award. Maybe next year we'll do a poll with some of our listeners, but this year that's how it goes, because guess what? This is the pilot for the Passies. Deal with it. This is the award show. We had a pilot for the whole series. Now we're doing a pilot for the Passies. So it's going to be a little different. The theme song is probably going to be different, and we're damn sure going to be recast at least one person on this show if I have anything to say about it.
Excellent. I like the motivation there, the inspiration to set the tone for this episode right off the top. So let me tell you, or let me ask you right off the top, there's nothing more important for a pilot than its name. So I'm going to ask you, what was this year's favorite title to a pilot that you enjoyed?
And we should say, caveat, not titled pilot, because a lot of shows just call their first episode pilot. That's boring. So one of the rules is this is the best title not called pilot. And I would say for me, that was 365 from Black Monday. where the title is revealed at the end of the last episode, revealing how many days until the market crash. So you didn't understand what the 365 meant until you had finished the pilot, and then you realized that they were 1 year out from the events that began the very first part of the episode. So for me, that was a really interesting and unique title that did pay off at the end of the episode.
Okay, I don't hate that suggestion. I might even come over to your side, but let me see if I can argue for Murder at Webb Ranch, the first initial episode of the show Quick Draw. We will definitely be talking about this show again as this episode progresses. But I really love this title because it kind of sets the tone for what we're talking about. Between this and the first scene, the opening scene of the episode, you really know what you're getting into whenever you get into Quick Draw. So Murder at Webb Ranch was my suggestion. But now that I've spoken, I'm going to come around to your side. 365, I think, wins.
So the winner is, and for the people at home that can't see, we have this beautiful trophy, which I'm going to reveal in a second. We do have one of the producers here from Black Monday, and Jonathan Black Monday. It's weird, though. He's Puerto Rican. He's going to be here accepting the award on behalf of the other producer who is more deserving of it. And that would be, so the winner for the best pilot, not titled pilot, would be 365 from Black Monday. And here's the Passy Award. And I'm holding it up. Yeah. And for the people on the podcast, they can't see right now. Mr. Monday here is taking the award.
Hey, Mr. Monday.
Hey, how you going, sir?
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And he has taken it home. For the Patreons watching, you can get a glimpse of what that was like visually. It was very stimulating.
Very.
Especially lower than you would think. I'm stimulated right now. My nipples are erect.
Yeah, we've got a long way to go, my friend.
We should probably go a little faster if we're going to get through these.
That's true. What should we do next?
Next, I'd say we just go in line. Next is the best premise, but also done well. So,
like
Matt,
a good steak?
Yes, exactly. So this is not a good premise that failed, but a good premise that succeeded. And now, Matt, your suggestion was?
My suggestion was the show The Pits, the family that is a little crazy and a little wonky. This episode shows you everything that you need to know about the show, the family, the premise, and everything in between for all 8 episodes that ended up getting recorded. So The Pits was my suggestion for best premise done well.
Mine, and we're going to come to this one a lot, but only because I thought this was a strong contender for the year in general. But mine is Black Monday. I thought the idea was clever. I thought the characters were utilized well, and I thought the tone, the humor, the black humor was established, but with the twist at the end of the first episode that kind of makes you want to watch it again. So a great premise, and I thought they pulled it off really well with nothing but comedic actors all the way through. So that would be mine for Black Monday.
Oh, we've got another tussle coming for this. Yeah. This is tough. I did love Black Monday. Again, that 365 was a really great idea, but we do weirdness here. And I want to say that there's nothing weirder that we watched this year than The Pits. And it was the perfect level of weirdness.
But you think that was done well? Because I love the premise. And I think we can all agree the boring sitcom family, but only the bad stuff happens to them.
Yes.
You think the pilot was done that well?
I would have watched 17 seasons of that show based on the pilot alone.
All right. I'll tell you what, I don't agree with you, but that's not how we run this show. I'm going to give it to you because you went along with me on the last one. So best premise done well goes to The Pits. And here is Jonathan Pitts, the producer, coming to take the award for the people at home and the podcast that can't see. Thank you, Mr. Pitts.
Thanks for coming out. I liked your nail polish tonight, sir.
Wow. And you have a beautiful wife. You call me. All right. Let's see. Next up, we have best premise that failed. And my contender was The Pits.
No.
So what was your suggestion for best premise? So I think we love The Pits idea as a concept. Clearly.
Yes, for sure.
What was your failed one, though?
I would say my failed one was Married with Children. I just I wasn't disgusted. I just disliked this premise. I just liked everything about this when this became such a different show. But whenever they're setting up this pilot, I thought it didn't work. It made me kind of angry. Like that was one of the shows that I was really heated about talking to you about because it offended me on some levels. So I'm gonna.
You know what? I'm coming over to you on that because I love Married with Children. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. But you're right. One of the things we discussed in the pilot, even with Thornberry, who was a guest in the show, was how terrible that pilot was, and there was no real plot, very little humor, and it only established like one real character. So, Mr. with Children, if you'll come up here and take your award, please.
Hey, Bob.
He's coming up on stage. Yes,
Good
sir.
to see you again.
No, sir. We don't allow speeches, only because we can't afford the music that plays you off. So we're not even gonna try for that.
Very accurate.
Let's see. Next up, interview of the year. This was really easy, and it was after a long, hard contest. It came down to us really having to make a decision.
Yes.
Of it being the only person that we were able to interview this year,
and
that would be John Lear from the amazing show Quick Draw on Hulu, which we can still not say enough good things about. He was a real, peach of a man. He sat down with us for even longer than the interview that you can hear on the episode. As
we
a
got
Patreon,
to meet his
you
kid.
Can hear. Yeah, we got to meet his kid. I mean, he was just a fantastic, lovable gentleman. A real normal guy, and you can listen to the full interview if you do decide to become a patron. So we want to say this time, Mr. John Lear, come up and take your award for best interview on Pilot Pass for the year of 2020. Thanks, John.
Yeah,
it really meant a lot to us. We are big fans of you and Nancy, and it really meant a lot for you to us to give us some of your time.
My vote would have went to you. My co-host here on the show, but it's okay. I'm okay with.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We did grill Zavala pretty hard in that one episode, but then we had to cut it when the feds contacted us.
It's the way it goes.
Apparently, that's a federal crime. Yeah. But NDA can't talk about that. We'll just have to leave it alone, and people at home can just guess at what Michael Zavala did that required us not to talk about it. Let's see, Matt,
a mystery.
You want to bring up?
Forever a mystery.
You want to do the next category?
Let me do the next category, and that I shall.
You're looking at the list, aren't you? You're hunting it down.
Yeah, no. I see where we were at, but I'm going to skip down a little bit because I want to save some of those for a minute. And I want to talk about best main character in any of the shows that we watched this year. I had a few ideas. I've kicked them back and forth, but I'm going to present to you that my best main character for the year, our runner-up is Don Johnson in Miami Vice. My winner is Mr. Tiger King himself. Tiger King.
Okay,
what's his name again? I've already forgot his name.
Joe Exotic.
There you go. Thank you.
Yes. So I'll tell you what, that was we're looking at best main character. You had Tiger King in Miami Vice.
Yes.
I had to say Brock Meyer just because that character was unlike anything I had ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
It just fantastic. Psych only because I love Sean Spencer and it's so fun. But really, I think even Psych lost to Brock Meyer. I wanted to say Black Monday for Mo, but I think that lost to Brockmire. But I'm willing to concede Brockmire to Tiger King just because he was real. Like Joe Exotic, he was a real guy. And I remember watching the pilot, and we had had a few drinks, and I was doing some engineering work. Don't worry, it all gets double checked, people, when I'm sober, and by another engineer that signs off. But I was doing some preliminary drawings, and my wife just wanted me to watch this show, and I was like, I have no interest in this stupid documentary about some guy owning. Oh, good Lord, no, man! I got 15 minutes in, and I was like, what? Who? Just I couldn't. I think we watched 4 episodes in a row that night. I didn't want to watch one, and I had to keep drinking because I couldn't sober up watching this guy because it was so infuriatingly crazy madness. And you know what? And he was real. So I think we do have to give it to best main character. Joe Exotic from Tiger King. And here's
And
that
if the
award.
world works out right, he'll be Trump will give him a pardon before the end of the year, and he'll be back to us 2021.
No, that is not how that should work at all. But I would say here's the award, but exactly, he's in federal prison for attempting to have someone murdered. So the award will go back down onto the stage.
Smart. Yep.
And you know what? We'll probably just send it to Carol Baskins.
That's true.
She can have this back.
She might be in jail soon too.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. All right, Matt, you want to call up the next one?
How about best world building? This is a really fascinating one because it is so dependent on the success of the show. If you can really build a good world whenever you start, your pilot episode. We've seen some shows this year that didn't work and they didn't build in that first episode, and it's really hard to continue to watch the show if you fail at that. So
yeah, because they may do it over the whole first season. But
yes,
we're talking about did they accomplish it in the pilot? And for me, that was again Black Monday, and here's why. I honestly, the way when they started with the Showtime logo, with the 80s Showtime logo and the audio fizzing in and out, it literally took me back to watching Showtime in the 80s as a kid, the few times I was able to watch it. They got the character, they got the wardrobe and the look and the feel and the lighting and the tone, right? That every time I would watch an episode, I would go, right, no. This just came out. This isn't literally from the 80s. If I didn't know those actors, I kept wanting to just think that this was something that came out within a year or two of the stock market crash in 87. And so for that, I got to say every time I saw that Showtime logo, I got sucked right back into the late 80s.
I had a pick for this, but you sold me. Black Monday should win best world building.
Now, just so we know that was competed against Mythic Quest, which I agree was probably my number 2 for the year. So Mythic Quest, great runner up, but Black Monday, best world building in a pilot episode for the 2020 year. Even though that was the year that it was produced, that's the year that we're doing it by award. There it goes. Okay. Yes.
You should probably hang out, buddy, because you might get another one coming up.
Yeah, it sounds like it. That show was impressive this year. Let's see. So let's go over this. Let's come back to that one. Favorite network, Matthew, for shows that we're producing pilots, only of the ones that we obviously reviewed this year.
Fox circa 1990s is really kind of our sweet spot. That's like our Winnie the Pooh to Honey.
Yeah.
Is Fox at that time. We're going to do so many stupid shows from that period of time from Fox. And we've already done a few stupid ones. The Pits, obviously, being the biggest example of the dumb shows that Fox had on in the 90s. So I give to you Fox as my network.
Fox. And I got to say Showtime, only because in the last few years, Showtime ended up coming out with a bunch of stuff I did not expect. That was Moonbase 8. Was that Showtime?
You're correct.
Black Monday was Showtime. There were a few others that I don't think we reviewed this year, but I was really blown away. It's like, Showtime, when did you become HBO Junior? Or like, you're really like pulling yourself up by the bootstraps here. But I think we got to go with Fox, because there was a time where Fox was just not only kicking out pilots because they were emotionally stunted and making up for something in their life that Fox's parents didn't love it. So it just was kicking out little baby pilots, but some of them stuck and become like The Simpsons, some of the most memorable shows of all times. And then others, it didn't, Hey, and I will say this, I still blame them for picking up Brooklyn Nine-Nine and dropping it. Luckily, NBC stepped back in and picked that up, but shame on you, Fox.
I thought you were going to go into your Family Guy. If all of these shows got canceled, then maybe we'll come back to it.
You know what? You want a good list of what Fox did? Find the episode. Which one was it? Was it The Pits? It was The Pits. Go listen to the Pits episode, people, where we go through the joke of they did on Family Guy of every show that got canceled. But there's an additional list that I wish we could go back if we ever do a repeat of that episode, or throw it back on the air. There's an additional like 27 other shows that also failed that didn't even make the list because Fox said the joke was too long and they had Seth MacFarlane cut it down. So yeah, that was a great one. So favorite network of all the shows we reviewed so far, that would be Matthew Fox, the actor who obviously is the owner of the Fox network. So here you go. Matthew. There are too many Matthews on the show between you and Thornberry and now Fox.
That is correct. You know, we've been so nice so far. We've given lots of happiness and joy to the people, but let's bring it down. Let's be honest. And there were a few disappointments that we had throughout the 24 episodes this year.
Yes.
I want to tell you that between Amazing Stories and Married with Children, I really kind of was a little sad. Now, Amazing Stories is a remake of a Spielberg series of shows from the 80s that I really liked. There was a lot of intrigue. There was a lot of, world building and those kind of things. But this new one, it was very bland.
Say it's an anthology type show like
Yes.
Black Mirror or Twilight Zone or something like that. So you tune in, every episode is a different little mini story. And I remember watching the original ones. I liked them. This is the one I was not on the episode for, but I did go back and watch the episode itself. And yeah, I was just kind of it was okay.
It was boring. Yeah, it was just bland.
It was just okay. I didn't hate every moment of it, but sometimes I'd rather hate something than forget about it,
Yeah,
so
I did not feel that. I just didn't feel anything. I just thought, oh, well, Apple did this, and it was just bleh, bleh.
Yeah, and see, Apple did Mythic Quest, though, and that was fantastic for the year. I gotta say, let's say, because we're talking about biggest disappointment, you brought up Married with Children. Obviously, I think we both agree for biggest disappointment of the past, Married with Children pilot was just terrible, especially for a show that would go on to become one of the greatest shows on television. We have to give the award to past worst pilot. That's got to be Married with Children for the year.
Definitely.
Big, or at least biggest disappointment, especially having watched the entire series, knowing what would become. Yeah. Now the current shows, you're saying
was
Amazing
that Bud?
Stories.
Did Bud just come by to get that award?
That was Dennis Faustino. What was his name?
Well,
David Faustino.
Faustino.
Well,
yeah.
No.
He lives in your guest room now, right?
It was Dennis Faustino, who wasn't even on the show. How embarrassing. Well, goodbye, Dennis. Enjoy that award. It doesn't have your name on it, but it doesn't matter. That's not how this works.
No.
I was gonna say Lower Decks because a lot of the creators were the guys from Rick and Morty. I generally tend to like Star Trek. I like animated shows, and yet I watched the pilot twice and just could not stay interested at all for any of the characters all the way through both times. But I will cede to you Amazing Stories because it was even more bland than Lower Decks. At least the Lower Decks had a universe that I kind of cared about being in the Star Trek world. So there you go. Amazing Stories, currently the biggest disappointment for as a pilot. So be proud of that. Take that home, put it on your mantle, and think I can do better than that next year.
Try harder, guys. Come on, try harder.
That was really,
Do you know who's
Spielberg?
Spielberg, for God's sakes. Do you know who never, ever has to try harder? That is Mr. Burton Guster, because he is the best secondary character that we saw this year, hands down, bar none. Psych is such a heavenly enjoyment. It's like a warm pizza. And
now, that's a 2006 show, so it isn't a show that came out this year. But I'll say this: Sean Spencer is the main character, who was one of our votes for the main one. We'll come back to who wins that category in a minute. But Sean isn't complete without Burton Guster.
Nope.
And it's not until the introduction of Burton Guster and Psych that you fully get who Sean is and why this is one of the absolute best dynamic duo buddy teams ever on television, ever. So it really was that second character being added that really put the show over the edge. Not even the main character. It's the buddies and Burton playing the foil to Sean, the Watson to his Holmes. Mwah. That's my chef's kiss for the episode.
It's crazy how long Dule Hill's been in my life with West Wing and then Psych, and he just keeps rolling over, and he's
so great in everything he does, and he can seamlessly, he can transfer from drama to dancing to comedy. And you know what? I finally watched the Psych musical the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Much better than I expected. I thought it was going to be, because I like musicals in general, which also means if it's a terrible musical like Glee, I absolutely hate it with a passion. Mm-hmm. And I actually really enjoyed it. And I forget how great of a dancer Dooley Hill is. He was really fantastic and stole a lot of those scenes. So best introduction of a secondary character, Psych for the win with the character of Burton Guster played by Dooley Hill. Mr. Hill, come take your award. And that's all right, man. Damn, little tippy tap 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 tap. That's him tap dancing away because he's
okay, it's nice.
Okay, that's what that is.
That was amazing.
Well, let's go on. So let's go on to the best introduction then of the main character. Obviously, we were talking Sean Spencer from Psych, and then I think we were also talking Brockmire, just because of that rant at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, the episode Rally Cap, a man who's calling, he's a broken down man playing baseball games. I'm sorry, I'm calling a local baseball game. Well, I'm getting this all wrong. I'm mixing up my pilots. So Brockmire is a world-class, professional broadcast announcer calling a baseball game, who slowly descends into madness over a course of about 2.5 minutes, revealing to all of the stadium and everyone listening that his wife is a cheating slut. And it is one of the best intros, I've got to say, to any series ever, as a cold open. And really, it made me like that character right off the bat. So that was Brockmire. But then I know we both wanted to throw Sean in there too for Psych. So what do we do?
Yeah, we couldn't disrespect Sean. He's fantastic. Everything that every part of that show, he's the engine that drives everything. So I love him. But
you remember his introduction is not when he's laying on the couch making out with the girl and calls in, hey, the store manager did it, which is, I guess, is his introduction as an adult, which is interesting enough. But his introduction is actually him as a kid being able to name all the things in a bar with his eyes closed because he has such great recall memory. So between both those as a young and an adult, I loved the character right off the bat.
I did as well, but it's going to have to be Brockmire.
Okay, great, good. Because honestly, I've never seen a character like that. It was like the whole first season of Breaking Bad in 2.5 minutes.
It was insanity.
Just like everything going wrong. It was perfect. So
yes.
Here you go. Brockmire, you earned it. Take it home and try not to break it during one of your drug-filled binges.
In the future. Spoiler alert. What do we think next? What do we, how about, since we are already talking about such things, maybe let's talk about best script from the pilot this year. There's a lot of really good scripts, obviously. So these shows all made it to air, so they had some kind of decent script.
Except for Married with Children, terrible script.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Night Court, because I really enjoyed that first episode. Because I forgot that I like that show. But that first episode is everything that you should like about that. But the best script of current times of movies that were, or shows that were recently put out.
Yeah.
Boy, I think I'm going to go ahead. Brockmire. Brockmire again was so strong with that character, so strong with the world building. I think it's my winner for best script.
And I think I'm going back to Black Monday again. It's been a while, but I'm coming back because the story you think is happening. And then when they hit that twist at the end, I immediately went back and rewatched that pilot immediately and still laughed at all the jokes, still loved all the characters, but viewing it that second time, it's like watching Fight Club a second time when you know what's going on. Most shows don't get you that way in the pilot. Right. And that was just, when you're talking about the writing, the jokes, I mean, the comedic writing was so strong. I don't think I went 30 seconds without at least a good hearty laugh, and every 2 or 3 minutes it was a real guffaw. So when you're talking about writing interesting characters in an interesting decade and with non-stop laughs, for me it's still got to be Black Monday, but then boy, Brockmire was up there in the same caliber. So
can we give a tie? Can we give our first tie?
I think we got to give it to Black Brockmire Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So Black Brockmire Monday, come on down.
Yeah.
You two have to hold. Oh, that's nice. They're skipping together while holding hands. Adorable. Look at this.
Adorable.
I love it. I love it. It's good to see people that aren't so competitive. They can really enjoy, because like they say, being nominated is the real thrill. And although they weren't nominated, we just kind of threw their names out there and picked them because we couldn't make a decision. That's the real honor, I think.
You're welcome, I think is what we should say is.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that too. Damn it, people, you're welcome from me and Matt.
We
have to the audience at home.
There you go. We have made it to the important categories now. We've only got the biggies left.
Oh man.
Ooh. I think it's kind of surprising that this isn't reflected so much in this episode, but if you listen to the 24 episodes beforehand, you know that our favorite decade, without question, hands down, is the wonder that is the cocaine 80s.
Yes, there's a lot to be said for the 70s for crime dramas, but for some reason that tends to be movies and only Fargo. But for the TV shows, especially this year that we went through, man, the 80s were blessed. Unless we even forget about that show called the 90s, that 80s show made in the 90s, which was a sequel to the 70s show. Yeah, that one didn't even qualify for anything this year, although I still love it with Glenn Howard in it. Based about working in a record shop in the 80s. It just goes to solidify how great the 80s was, that something that didn't even make it in, I think, as a contender for any of the shows, really.
We had Night Court. We had Night Rider.
Court. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's
Rise of the Phoenix.
No, that's a classic. And then
it either was made in the 80s and for the current time, or it started in the 80s, or it was a show about the 80s. And boy, there was a lot. I guess especially the decade we grew up in. It was a formidable age for us. This was back when you would not only have to walk uphill both ways to school, but fight off people forcing cocaine on you on your way to grade school. That was a big deal. There was a big crack epidemic. And you could buy cocaine for less than a cigarette, if I remember properly. So
yes, and also that is a beautiful white jacket that you've donned now to be part of the 80s. You know, that flat suit.
No, that was I sneezed during a commercial break and it blew all my cocaine back onto me.
Okay.
Wipe that off.
There we go.
I believe we're good to go.
This is going to be a 10-hour podcast now, isn't it?
we gotta get this going fast. Sorry, people at home.
Oh, gracious. Thanks. So, all right, where are we going to go next? We only got big ones left.
Okay. You know what? I got to think, let's just run it down we only got like 5 more, show of the year. Now, is that, because I don't even understand this one. Is it our favorite show that we did of the year or our favorite show that we liked of the year?
See, I thought you thought of this topic, so I was waiting for you to answer that question because I don't really know. We've confused us both, I guess.
Okay, let's call it our favorite episode that we did for the year.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, there we go. So on the fly, here we go. What was your favorite one to do for the year?
It would have been deeper in the season once we got a little back and forth, a little rat-a-tat-tat going. You know, gosh, I'm going to go back to it again. We had so much fun on that 80s show episode just because neither one of us knew if we were going to like it. And so you didn't know if I was going to be mad and, not enjoy it. And I wasn't sure if you were going to enjoy it. So I think all those things together, that was probably my favorite episode.
See, I was going to give you this one. I was going to say the Pits because it was so much fun to just rag on what a weird, awful, great show that was that we both somehow loved. And it was just terrible. You know what? And I'm willing to say, you wanted to go with the Pits. Oh, let's go with the Pits. It is. So our favorite personal episode that we did, and here, Matt, I want to hand this award to you.
Thank you. I will take that.
Okay. Now, if you will hand that back to me. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's very nice. This will go great on my mantle. You can get your own. All right. Next, what are we going to do? I guess our no, we don't need to do our least favorite of the year. Why put a gun to our own heads? So,
no reason to do that. Nope.
Let's go ahead and check that one off. The answer would be, I guess, our pilot episode where we only talked about what was coming up because technically there was no content in that.
That's true.
Also, we don't make mistakes, people. We wouldn't be as professional as we are. If something's not good enough, we're not going to put it out. That's why there's the missing space.
We just delete them.
Avenue 5. There was a missing one of that. We had to re-record, I believe, Russian Doll.
And Saved by the Bell.
Did, and Saved by the Bell. So people, if it's not good enough, it's not going out unless we just don't have the time or the energy to redo it for you.
These are accurate.
Or unless we found the one we thought we lost and we were like, oh, thank goodness we don't have to re-record that one. And then the pits did go out. So here we go. Last three. Pilot that made us watch the rest of the season. And I agree with all three of these that are up for nomination: Mythic Quest, Black Monday, and Tiger King. Every single one of those made me want to finish the show.
I concur with that completely. Those are all really great pilots. Obviously, the point of a pilot is to make you want to watch the rest of the show. So those all hit the mark on that. The only one I may kind of throw out there to you that surprised me was Night Court. After I watched that pilot episode, I watched several other episodes just because I was like,
I kept going on the seasons too. And I guess that deserves it because, well, here's the other thing I say. Sometimes like with Tiger King, we knew it was a limited run. So if I watch the pilot, I'm like, I only got 9 more episodes. I'm way more intrigued to just get through the series, the miniseries. Right. Sure. But when it's something, if you don't know when it's going to end, you're like, oh, Night Court. Like, what was that? 6, 7 seasons? You didn't know that when you were beginning. So yeah, maybe I think that is a kind of a contender there. Mythic Quest, I knew they said was going to be a somewhat limited series of 2 to 3 seasons, but that's what they also thought about Always Sunny. And that kept going.
Right.
They did say Black Monday had a definitive 1 season story, and if it did well, they would have a second definitive season 2 story. So maybe they'll do it for season 3, but they are written as full seasons. That you were only getting involved for that storyline. Right. Boy, I kind of want to throw Night Court in there now because that's true. When I went back and rewatched it, I just got so happy about watching it again. But then when I did that with Psych too, I went back and rewatched all of Psych, every single episode when we redid the pilot.
That's true.
Must we pilots that made us watch the rest of the season? I would say I'll go on something that I've never seen before. So I'll pass on Night Court and I'll pass on Psych only because I'd seen both those as kids and I knew that the shows got good.
Yes.
I will say that I didn't know what to expect from Mythic Quest. So I would give it to that. Or that Black Monday was just so good. I had to find out if the show kept up that level or if it just went downhill. So to me, Tiger King and being a limited run, I knew that I'd probably get through it. I think to me, it's Mythic Quest or Black Monday again.
I'm going to go with Mythic Quest on this one. I watched the entire season after I watched the pilot episode. So I guess they did their job. So I say Mythic Quest.
Mythic Quest, come down and take your award. Rob McElhenney, Charlie Day, and I'm pretty sure they had one other creator on the show whose name I can't remember. And I'm sure Hornsby worked partly on that too. And the other people that worked so hard to produce that show, whose names I'm definitely known to me, but we don't have time. Let's go, people. Let's go.
Bob, Ted, Carol, and Alice.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. All right.
Now, pilots to look forward to for next year. The one you're most excited about doing for next year.
Looking forward to next year. I'm very excited about this. We've got a lot of good ones in the can. We're going to have some more people on the show, do a little bit diverse kind of shows. But yes.
Barring Desmond Pfeiffer, because everybody knows that's obviously always going to be our favorite. So
yes,
that one is removed from contention. Yes.
That is a given. But our number 2, and will always be our number 2 until we actually get to do it. It's going to be a show on UPN called Moesha.
Oh, I'm so not looking forward to this again.
I don't remember the pilot at this point, so I'm personally actually just looking forward to going back and watching it. But your misery will be my joy.
This was the first time I'd ever watched a show. When this came on, I caught it new as a pilot. And I went, oh, TV can be bad. Like I was just young enough that it never occurred to me that something would make it to air and be something that was just wildly unenjoyable. And then they said next week, and I went, next week? Why? So I'm not looking forward to that one, but maybe that's the reason everyone else should, because I'm going to get put to the ringer on that one. I'm looking forward to Get Smart. You recently got me back on that again. Of course, I watched a bunch of them as a kid, but I now have the entire collection. And I just got Tales from the Crypt too for Christmas. We got that around the house too. So that's nice. An exciting one. But I'm really excited for Get Smart. But I think the one we're going to have to go with is Moesha, because even if it sucks for me, it's going to be a pleasure for everyone else. So pilot to look forward to for next year, both as the show and the episode of Pilot Pass for people to tune into is going to be, we think, Moesha. So Matt, I'm gonna hand you this award.
Thank
You'll
you.
take that. Great.
Thank you.
And I will take it back. And then I'll
Thank you
pretend
back.
to hand it over to the people that produce Moesha. And then I'm going to fake them out because I don't think they deserve it. And this is going to go right back on my mantle next to the other award that I put on my mantle previously.
Before we get to the last category, I just want to revisit UPN one time, if we shall. The same time that Moesha was on, UPN also aired Platypus Man.
I was going to say Platypus Man. Yes. Okay,
starring
good.
Richard Jennings. Marker, starring Richard Grieco, and Legend, starring Richard Dean Anderson. So I refuse to believe Moesha is the bottom of the barrel on that lineup.
I don't know. Moesha's the only one I ever saw. I just couldn't. Man, I don't know why that brought up Briscoe County Jr. in my head to me, but I'm actually looking forward to that one too. Let's see here. So now we're into the final category. Well, we're gonna have to do a whole UPN run at some point.
Oh, definitely, 100%.
Yeah. So Matt, go ahead and read off this last category here.
Let's do it, man. We've seen a lot of them. We've seen 24 pilots this year, actually probably 26 because of lost episodes, but there can only be one winner. I think you guys know at least our top three, but we'll revisit them again. We've got Black Monday, everybody's favorite, with Don Cheadle. We've got Mythic Quest from the guys from Always Sunny, and we've got Tiger King from the guys that are just crazy.
And of course, this is for the hands down, absolute, no other qualifying factors, best pilot we watched this year. This is the biggie. This is.
Why is Brockmeyer not on this list?
Okay, we're adding Brockmeyer real fast, please. Okay. And Brockmeyer. There we go.
There we go.
Okay. So Black Monday, Mythic West, Tiger King, and Brockmeyer. Okay, so here we go. I'm opening the envelope. Are you ready for this? The envelope says, I'm going to try to actually find one for the people that are watching on Patreon here.
My drum's getting tired.
Well, here it is. I'll just open this instead.
Okay, yes.
This is a...
Oh, that does sound official.
And the winner is, here we go for the people at home. I actually am opening up a receipt from a framed picture that we took to Michael's.
Oh,
it cost us $206 total.
What a surprise. That one came from left field.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I did not expect that to be the winner. You know what? Let's just open another envelope. I've got another one here. Let's see what else we got. Let's just keep opening envelopes till we find the winner.
Let's do it.
This one will be okay. Here we go. I'm going to open this up.
Yes.
Pulling it out here. The winner is
you defaulted on a loan.
A bill from the Texas Toll Roads Commission saying I have $14.42 owed. I have a toll tag. I don't understand why they would be sending me this. So I do have to. It's one of the red ones too that they send you when you're overdue. So I'm concerned about this. I'm gonna have to call them tomorrow. But drum roll, please, Matt.
Yes.
I'm just gonna let you pick it. What do you want? I'm good with anything.
Best pilot of the year. I'm gonna go Black Monday. I think that
I'm gonna go Black Monday too. Good,
because
I was gonna run you over if you said anything else. I was gonna be wrong. It was Black Monday, so that was it. So
it is such a fantastic pilot. It's such a fantastic show. Everybody in that is wonderful.
Everybody in it is funny. Everybody in it is comedically genius. The writing, the twist, the world building, the in-world jokes, the jokes about the 80s, and the rewatchability. Damn it. I've already seen the whole series twice now, and I'm about to probably start it again. And the fact that you never go more than 90 seconds without a real solid joke. It was hard to go up against Brockmeyer for the comedy. Mythic Quest was very funny. It was very touching in some of the later episodes of the series, but that was not what we were voting on, people. It was the pilot.
Just the
and
first
we knew
one.
Really it was going to be down to Brockmeyer and Black Monday, but I think Black Monday just killed it in every category. So here you go. Creators of Black Monday.
Good job, guys.
You win the Pilot Pass, Best Pilot of the Year, Passy Award. Congratulations to everyone that made the show, everyone that listened to our show, everyone that just made it through 2020. Congratulations to you too.
Congratulations, yeah.
So, geez. We want to say thanks to all of our fans, of course, for tuning into this final episode for 2020. We're going to be launching, I believe, a website and blog for next year, Matt. Is that how we're going to do it? So
You are correct.
For right now, you have to go to Twitter, which is for Twitter, it's Pilot Pass Pod. For Instagram, it's Pilot Pass. Facebook, it's Pilot Pass. But the nice thing is we're going to be buying the domain name. We'll be telling you what that is. You can go there and it links to all of our social media. Matt and I'll be making blogs and some vlogs, I guess, about some behind the scenes stuff, how we make some of our decisions. We're going to let y'all, again, please come to our Patreon channel, which is Pilot Pass. If you donate any amount of money, you get to watch some of the live videos of us on Zoom as we create the episodes. You get longer, full interviews with the people we interview. You get a few extra bonus features. We might even put up some of the lost episodes, as terrible as they are, and then somehow censor them. I don't know. We'll figure some out. But the reason why is because we're going to start taking some of that money and we're going to be turning it into products that we're going to try to sell you in the store. We're this year, we're going to be having some t-shirts. Somebody even suggested they would like a coffee mug. I think a Pilot Pass branded private jet would be a great deal. Somebody's talking about for about $6.7 million. It'll just have our logo on the side with our faces. And that'll be purchasable from our online store. Whoever that company is that has the vending machine with the cars, they're already working on one for jets for us. So that's good. But really, we're going to be focusing on t-shirts and stickers for this year, and really working on the website and the blog, so you can just have better interaction with us, because we look forward to talking with you guys as fans. And I really want to say thank you, because a lot of people have reached out to me and really enjoyed the show. We didn't know what this was going to be when we started it a month before Corona hit. So this has been a weird year for everybody, but we want to say thank you to the people that really seem to be enjoying it. And please, more than anything else, like, review us, thumb us up, Twitter us up, heart us, like us, poke us, leave a review on iTunes, leave us 5 stars, and send us some money. Anything that makes us look better than worse is good.
I don't think they're sending facelift money, so I think we're in trouble in that department. But that's okay.
Send gift cards, people. It never hurts.
Bitcoin. I'll take Bitcoin right now. Yes, you said all those things. I agree with all those things. So let's wrap this bad boy up. Any last words for the people?
No, I believe we've again done another perfect episode. I'm waiting to see what happens when we make a mistake. I'm a little nervous, but we did a full year perfectly. And yeah, what's the odds of that happening?
7 billion to 1. That's accurate. I'm out. We're done here.
I'm over this. Let's go.